It just feels to me that if you are trying to advertise a product, you should avoid confusing, depressing, and/or annoying the crap out of the people watching. I'm curious as to whether this is a trait commonly associated with autism or if it's just a straight up me being me kind of thing. Advertising does not work on me. I'm not gonna say 100% absolutely there is no chance, but like, it pretty noticeably and consistently does not work. Or at least commercials don't work, and other forms of advertising don't work really well. And while I am constantly saying here that nothing is just you, because it's true, nothing is ever just you, I have to assume that this one is a pretty minority personality trait simply because of the amount of money and effort that's put into marketing and advertising. Forbes said that the global marketing industry was worth $1.7 trillion in 2019. That was just the first Google result that came up. I didn't feel like looking into it further. So it has to be working on someone. I don't see a lot of commercials anymore because I don't really watch network TV for any reason, and all of the platforms that have ads, like this one, I've paid them so that they won't show me ads. That is until some of them went, ha 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 ha, never mind! We're gonna show you ads even though you paid us. You can always pay us more money. What a tantalizing and not at all scammy offer. So all of a sudden one day I'm watching something on... Which ones are doing that now? All of them? Whatever, I'm watching something on one of the platforms that's yelling, "Money please!" And it starts with an ad, an old school commercial. And my face immediately does this. Not necessarily because I'm having to watch an ad, like yes, I did pay to not see ads, so that is lightly annoying, but this is my ew face, and the ew reaction is to the ad itself. I don't remember what ad it was, what product they were trying to sell, what gimmick they were using to sell it, because I have an ew reaction to pretty much all of them. They just feel weird, no matter which direction they take, and I find myself distracted from the product or service itself by the method that they're using to promote it. Oh, I remember some that got like ew on steroids. It was ads for Snapchat, and like maybe the fact that I don't really get Snapchat in the first place added to it, but I was actually going, what the living fuck? Watching the ad felt like being on drugs. It did not make any sense. And it most definitely did not make me want to use the product. But it's the same all the way. There's these sexy shots of cars zooming through the forest, and I'm like, why? It's a car. Jewelry brands with couples going... I literally wrote, "do the thing" in my script with no further explanation as to what that thing was. I must have thought it made a big enough impression to last forever, but you'll just have to use your imagination. You've seen a jewelry commercial. Women washing their hair as it flies everywhere, glistening with crystal clear water droplets. Are these over-manufactured images supposed to make me feel something? And it's not just because I'm disinterested in the brand or the product. Matt and I like Olive Garden. It's our go-to easy lunch out when you want to feel gross and happy. Get those unlimited breadsticks. But if I see a commercial for Olive Garden, I'm not immediately like, ooh, we must have it now. The next time I want food, I don't automatically think of Olive Garden. Maybe it's crept into my psyche via this visual ad and made me want to go there sooner than if I hadn't seen the ad, but how would you even prove that? It just seems like commercials are doing nothing for me. Except confusing me. I have seen some very odd ones lately. Not just ones that make me go, huh, but ones that make me go, ew. Don't even get me started on the straight up creepy or sad ones. Y'all, there were some that I saw recently that I was like, who approved this? Who thought that these were a good idea? Like during the Olympic opening ceremony, which was the only part of the Olympics we watched, there was an AI ad, because of course there was. And the story that they went with was, my 6-year-old daughter is a huge fan of this athlete. this Olympian athlete. She so looks up to her. She wants to be like her someday. So far, great. Topical. She wants to write her a fan letter. I don't like where this is going. But I, her dad, just couldn't find the right words, so I had AI write it for me. What? Like, yo, what? Can you imagine being this athlete and getting a letter that is supposedly from a little girl who looks up to you and wants to be like you someday? And then you find out the little girl didn't write the letter. The little girl didn't tell her dad what to write because she physically doesn't know how to write yet. The dad didn't write the letter based on all the things that he has heard his daughter say about how much she loves this athlete. No! Someone told a robot to write me a fan letter, and it did. This letter is from a robot. Are you moved? And this whole commercial was like, wow, isn't this so sweet? Doesn't this just tug at your heartstrings? What a lovely story. What? Please tell me I'm not the only one who found that commercial depressing as crap. Being so unable to put emotions into words that you have to have an emotionless computer program do it for you is not what I would call a sweet story. I have another. I have to assume that I saw this one on whatever streaming device is demanding more money. I don't even know what this commercial was for in particular because I was too distracted to notice, but the tagline was something like, "The future isn't scary," or "Technology doesn't have to be scary." Yeah, if that's the tagline, what's the ad gonna be, right? It's this guy riding in a self-driving car, like totally self-driving, a la People's Plans for the Future. If you've ever seen the show Upload, they ripped the design straight from that, probably used their leftover props. Suddenly he realizes the car is not taking him home, where he told it to take him. It's taking him somewhere else. It won't tell him where, it won't let him change the destination, it locks the doors. This man is being kidnapped by his car, or whoever is controlling his car. This is the beginning of a horror movie. The car pulls up to a cabin in the middle of the woods, in the dark, and finally unlocks the doors. The man hesitantly steps out of his car and... it's a surprise birthday party! Yay! The future isn't scary! Anyone else think that's the absolute worst commercial you've ever heard of? Like, I'm sorry, but technology isn't scary because it just so happened to work out okay this time? That's a traumatizing situation, and the fact that it happened to end with a birthday party doesn't make the first part any less traumatizing. Also, if someone can override your self-driving car in the future so that you are locked out of the controls and it does whatever they tell them to, I don't care if that person has to know you or have your password or whatever. That is terrifying. You don't think horrible people are gonna use that to their advantage? It will not always be a surprise birthday party. Anyway, ads are real weird these days, y'all. And they don't work on me like they're supposed to, at least not the commercials. I suppose there is a dash of demand avoidance baked in there. Like you, the commercial, told me to buy this thing, so no. I will not. You cannot make me. Photo style ads, like still photos that you sometimes still get on your Instagram feed, although seemingly a lot less now. Everything must be video. Those have a slightly higher success rate for me, possibly because there's less weird and gimmicky copy to distract and confuse me. But still, those are mostly successful where paired with, ironically, algorithmic targeting, which makes sense. If you're gonna show me ads, they're more likely to work if there's something I'm slightly interested in. Another reason that I find streaming platforms' commercial choices so odd, because you know that they have access to targeting technology. They're already using it everywhere else. Like, hey, you watched this rom-com, so here's another dozen rom-coms that you might enjoy. That's just a very simple example of it. But when you cut into the episode of British Landscape Artist of the Year that I'm watching to show me an ad for Sunday Night Football, I'm kinda like, huh? Not that a person can't like both of those things, but I have never once clicked on anything sports related in their entire streaming platform. Not even a sports movie. Why are you wasting this ad on me? It almost feels like they don't have enough brands purchasing this kind of old school commercial. So they kind of just have to throw up whatever they have. Maybe there's enough options to narrow it down according to your location or your age demographic. What's happening right here? Oh, I think I'm starting the next row. That's fine. I've been pretending that I'm in Canada so I can watch the Great Canadian Pottery Throwdown because for some reason they refuse to put the next season of the Great British Pottery Throwdown anywhere online. I just want to watch people make pots, y'all. You can watch them make pots on the Canadian version because Seth Rogen is the executive producer. Didn't see that one coming. There's what feels like an excessive number of commercials on each episode, although it's probably about the same amount of time dedicated to ads as an hour-long program on network TV would have. The reason it feels worse is the lack of variety. There's 6, maybe 8 if you're lucky, different commercials that have been seemingly assigned to this show, and you're just going to see a shuffled version of them over and over and over again. Which is yet another thing that I don't really understand. Do advertisers not realize that repetition feeds loathing? Loathing. Unadulterated loathing. I'm serious. With every new viewing of a commercial, I am less likely to ever use that brand or service because now I actively despise them. And I have to imagine that's not just me. It's like having a song stuck in your head. Sometimes it literally gets a song stuck in your head. Seeing the same 30-second ad so many times in a row. The smartest marketers do silent ads, like music only. I'm much less annoyed with them because they don't have weird lines. But if I have to hear your copy 15 times in the course of a few hours, I cannot help but to tear it to shreds. It's almost like if I spent 3 hours binging this TV show and you had shown me each of the 8 commercials assigned to it only once instead of 15 times each, it's more likely I would have come away with a favorable view of the brands being advertised. And by it's almost like that, I mean that is absolutely true. What was the benefit of annoying me through constant repetition? Do the brands know that the platforms are doing this? Do they realize that they are paying for the same set of eyes to see their commercial this many times in a row? Or does repetition just not bother some people? Who's to say? There's a car commercial that kept playing, one of those with the cool dude voiceover, and his line was, "Isaac Newton says that what goes up must come down. We beg to differ." What does that mean? Seriously, what? It was accompanied by those drone shots of a car driving up a mountainside. So are you saying that the car is going to go up the mountain and never come back down? Is that supposed to reflect well on the product? Because it seems to me like that reflects a lot more on the long-term camping capabilities of the driver. Or are you referring to the price of the car going up and never coming back down? Snicker. I just don't get ads like this. The words are nonsense, said in an epic voice as though they have some deep meaning when they actually have no logical meaning at all. But someone got paid to come up with that line, and I'm not knocking that person. Good on ya. Make that paycheck. Way to go. I just genuinely wonder, does this work on anyone? Does it do what it's supposed to do? Does it do anything? I picture somebody watching this ad enraptured, nodding with wide eyes as they murmur to themselves, "Yeah, I want to go up and never come down." By the 10th time seeing this commercial, I very much wished the commercial would go up and never come back down onto my computer. And I'm going to use that metaphor because it's just as nonsensical as their ad was. And perhaps if I had seen it just once and cared about cars, then it would be logged away in my noggin as a cool car commercial, instead of one that made frustratingly little sense. If these advertising companies are doing focus groups, they should show the group the commercial on a loop at least a dozen times and then get their feedback. But then again, there's so much investment and research and time spent in this industry. They have to know, right? They have to be aware of the repetition happening and be okay with it, which makes me think the repetition has to be having positive effects on someone. But dang, y'all, who? I feel like we've reached a problematic place in the world of advertising in that there are more places to put an ad than there are brands trying to advertise, you know? I don't know if that's anything close to a true statistic, but that's what it feels like. The options for how to advertise are seemingly limitless, so we get shown the same ad over and over and over again while streaming a TV show or while playing a phone game. The same ads come up between every 2 to 3 Instagram stories, as though somehow on the 67th viewing of it, I'll suddenly go, oh my god, yes please! Ads are just freaking everywhere, and that is not new or news. We all knew that. I noticed the other day that there are ads on the grocery store aisles. Not like here's a random product that didn't fit on the shelves so we put it on an end cap. Not even an ad for a product sold in the store. A cardboard placket sticking out from the shelves with an ad on it. Can't even remember for what, because my eyes have learned to pass straight over stuff like that. Again, making me wonder, does this work on anyone? But how bonkers is that? Pop-up ads in real life. Where's the blocker? So there are a couple times that I have bought something after seeing it on an ad, and without fail, it has been based on a photo Instagram ad. Ye olde IG is not always right on point with their targeted ads, but like, they're pretty good. Or I guess they used to be pretty good, because the last time this happened was a couple years ago. Is it cool that they're harvesting our data to show us ads for stuff that we potentially might like? No, not really. Don't love the harvesting data part. But also, I never would have found this super handy fur scraper thing if Instagram hadn't somehow known that I'd be interested in it. They were right, and it's been a super helpful tool that I never would have thought to go looking for. Not a sponsor, just an example. And this is why I say advertising doesn't work on me. I have bought products that I've seen in ads, but only when a targeted ad has been like, hey, here's a thing that you already want and just haven't thought to go looking for. I've just never seen a billboard on the side of the road or watched an ad on TV or heard an ad on the radio and thought, oh my god, I must have it. I have purchased and tried a product based on a YouTuber integration, but I didn't really like it, so I stopped using it. That's the whole story. How do we feel about YouTuber integrations from a marketing viewpoint? That's opening a can of worms in the comments section, but I'll tell you the truth about me as a YouTube watcher. Unless I am specifically trying to support a newer YouTuber who is getting sponsorships for the first time, or I am just physically unable to double tap my phone for whatever reason, I am skipping through those babies. And therefore, I don't expect anything different from my viewers. It's an ad, it's trying to sell you something, it's boring, I get it. I try to make mine fun, a lot of us do, but sometimes that's really hard. And of course we still have the repetition thing. It's always fascinating to see a new brand start utilizing YouTuber marketing and then their product just makes their rounds of all the channels at lightning speed. Also, yes, we are able to see in our analytics when people skip the integration. Not specifically, nothing is ever specific to a single viewer, but we get a chart of like the decline in viewers as a video goes on, and there's always a little dip where the integration was from people fast forwarding through it. Again, I get it. Fair enough. But I will say, as far as does this style of marketing work on me if commercials so clearly don't? Kinda? Or maybe still no. I think I don't get annoyed by YouTube integrations in the same way that I do with regular commercials, because generally speaking, at least for the channels that I watch, it's just a person telling you about a thing that they theoretically like, regardless of whether they try to make it fun or engaging or humorous or whatever, it's generally less gimmicky and more genuine. There's not typically professional grade camera work with cars plunging through rivers or food made to look fabulous or boring containers of whatever it is zooming through cinematic lighting. There's not nonsensical copy that makes me go, what on earth are you even saying, and distracts me from the product with images of a boardroom full of people approving that absolutely bonkers tagline. So I don't think they really work on me, but also I'm not actively frustrated by their content the way I am with pretty much every commercial I've seen in the last 20 years. Annoyed by their presence though, yeah, sure, sometimes. Despite being a YouTuber myself, I am also a viewer like you. But YouTubers deserve to be paid for providing you with entertainment, so yeah. Did I start going in the wrong direction here? Oh my god, I did. How did that even happen? I'm interested to know how you interact with commercials. What's the worst commercial you've ever seen? Is there one that lives rent-free in your head? Do you buy things or go places because you saw an ad for it? Do you not mind commercials? Do they go in one ear and out the other? Or do you do everything possible to avoid having to see them? Do you find yourself watching them with interest in the product or interest in the production of the commercial itself? It's always the latter for me. I do find the marketing industry fascinating in general. It's so much work and so much money going into this constant attempt to sell. And it must work because otherwise they wouldn't do it. And someone's gonna say, well, it's all just brand awareness. You're not aware that commercials and ads work on you because it's not supposed to work in the moment. It's just supposed to lodge that brand name in the back of your brain so that it's more likely you'll buy it later on. And yeah, that's absolutely gotta be true. But also, I am almost always annoyed or frustrated or confused by the advertising. So if that brand name is lodging in the back of my brain, it's with a negative connotation, you know? So that feels like the opposite of what you'd want marketing to do. But then again, maybe that's just me. It isn't. Nothing is just me. Nothing is ever just you. I will keep saying it in every video. Anyway, did this all materialize out of my desire to rant about some weird commercials that I've recently seen? Yep, bye! Pardon the wind if you can hear the wind through all of this. It is windy. Come here. Hello? Is it gonna be your video now? And now a few words from the puppy. Fascinating. Mwah. I love you very, very much. Yes, I do. I love you so much. Yes, I do. You're so precious. The monster in our pool is feeding